case before this court, and that you will return a true verdict according to the evidence and the instructions of the court, so help you God. Please say I do.
I do.
You may be seated.
Is the prosecution ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution may begin with opening remarks.
Your Honor and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Ben Sauer, and my colleagues and I are here today to convince you that the defendant, George Zimmerman, is guilty for the tragic death of young Trayvon Martin. Mr. Zimmerman followed him after claiming to the police dispatcher that he was up to no good and suspicious. So he followed him. That right there was the was the begging to the end of Trayvon's life. If he would have waited for the police to come and do their job instead of trying to be a hero, one more kid would be alive today, and one less family left without answers. So we hope you will give Trayvon Martin's family justice and young Trayvon Martin himself justice.
Does the defense have any opening remarks?
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Jeremy Archer. I'm here to defend George Zimmerman with my colleagues, Kane Duncan and Braxton Woods. Now, George Zimmerman was like any other man. He was part of a neighborhood watch. Multiple break-ins in that neighborhood led him to arm himself with a gun. Now, after returning home from the grocery store, he saw a young man walking down the street suspiciously. Now, was he right in disobeying the police? He was not. But why he shot him? Suspicious activity, and he was up to no good. George Zimmerman was attacked by Trayvon Martin. The evidence that we will provide you will prove this statement to be 100% true. Thank you.
The prosecution may call its first witness.
Your Honor, we call Mary Couture.
Please raise your right hand and place your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Miss Couture, what were you doing the night of February 26th?
I was at home about to take an online test.
Were you alone?
No, I was with my roommate, Selma.
What were you doing?
We were about to make coffee.
Did you hear any noises from outside your residence?
We heard a distress noise, and then we heard the gunshot.
Did you ever go outside to see what was occurring?
Yes, we went outside right after the gunshot.
What did you see?
We saw Mr. Zimmerman on top of Trayvon with his hands on his back.
Did you hear any physical confrontation?
No, we did not.
Did Mr. Zimmerman know you were there?
Yes, my roommate asked him if everything was okay a couple times.
And did he ever answer you?
No.
Oh, wait, one more. Did Mr. Zimmerman try to get any help for Trayvon or try to help him himself?
After a while, he finally got up and said, call the police.
Okay, thank you.
Does the defense have anything for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. All right. So did you know Trayvon personally?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you did not. So you are completely unaware of any actions that he did?
No.
Did you ever go to the same school as him?
No.
You did not. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me ask you something. Do you know any rowdy kids when you were in school? Did you know anybody who was constantly caught for drugs? Okay. So, did you happen to see anything before the gunshot?
No.
So, you never went outside your window, you never heard anything.
We did hear a distress noise, but we did not see it.
Can you please define distress noise?
It was kind of like a whimper. I don't really know how to explain it.
And you didn't think, oh, I wonder what that was.
We did. That's why we were making our way to the window, and then we heard the gunshot.
Okay. So you said that you saw George Zimmerman on top of Trayvon Martin,
Yes.
and you said he had his hands on Trayvon's back.
Yes.
So would you kind of define that as attempting to revive?
No, I would not.
You would not. So let's think about Trayvon. Was he always this good little boy? May I present some evidence, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the peace tea that was found at the crime scene. To be more specific, is Arizona watermelon fruit cocktail, not just sweet tea. Now, what else was on Trayvon? Bag of Skittles. Now, let me make a point. It just so happens that if you take Arizona, Skittles, and Robitussin, you get a low codeine-based drug called lean.
Objection, Your Honor. This doesn't have anything to do with the death of Trayvon Martin.
Nope, I'm making a point.
Overruled.
We have evidence that shows Trayvon Martin trying to get codeine, but found lean. His kidneys on a very healthy 17-year-old young man was torn up. Now, side effects of lean cause anger management and distress. Now, would you think that after doing lean, as Trayvon Martin's walking down the street, that he is, under the influence of it? That he's got that anger going through. And this car's following him, and he gets angry about it? Why are you following me? Get away from me. And attacks George Zimmerman? These are the injuries sustained by my client. This shows that he was attacked. The injuries sustained by Trayvon Martin were two. His fatal gunshot wound and bruised knuckles. No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything final from the prosecution, or do you rest?
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Is the defense ready with its case?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call Sergeant Anthony Armando to the stand.
Please raise your right hand and put your left hand here. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please restate your name.
Sergeant Anthony Armando.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a police sergeant at Sanford Police Department.
How many years have you been working there?
14 years.
Right, so you've been working there for quite a while, so you're pretty sure well with the law of stand your ground law.
Yes,
Would you,
it states that you justifiably can use force in self-defense before retreat.
so, in the situation with George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, do you believe that George Zimmerman was just trying to self-defend himself when he shot Trayvon?
Yes, when I arrived at the scene, Zimmerman was covered in blood and Trayvon was on the ground.
Yes. So, was it night or day when you arrived at the scene?
Night,
Could you possibly see anything?
not without light.
Would you suppose George Zimmerman was possibly also, when, as the prosecution said, that Zimmerman was on top of Trayvon, do you think that he was just trying to help him because he was scared? He didn't mean to shoot Trayvon? He possibly was scared?
Yes.
For the jury, have you ever been panicked before? Like, were you feared in a situation? Would you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to pull out some evidence.
Yes, please.
In this article, the president was Obama. In this stuff that I circled, it mentions stuff about Trayvon and stuff about. Right here it says, the president neglected to say that according to the jury decision in George Zimmerman's trial, if Martin had truly been an innocent person, nothing would have happened the night of the shooting either. Regardless of his race, if Martin was innocent and proceeded to walk in his father's house without stopping to confront Zimmerman, he would still be alive. If he hadn't sucker punched Zimmerman in the face, jumped on top of him, and began beating Zimmerman's head into the ground, he would still be alive today regardless of his race. And Obama was personally offended by his race, apparently, because the president said not one word about Trayvon being a truant, a thug, a liar, and a thief, and a schoolyard bully, and a doper. And lean also has the effects show that lean is paranoia and aggressive behavior. Trayvon was just walking, and as Jeremy has stated, that he was just walking and he confronted Zimmerman and punched him in the face for no apparent reason. Didn't even say, hey, why you follow me? He didn't even dare to think. He just automatically assumed. So did you find anything on Trayvon when you walked over there?
I found Arizona watermelon tea and Skittles.
Good. So, I would like to bring out a little bit more for the witness I can approach. I would like you to read what self, the definition of self is.
Your person, what you are, and individuality.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would like you to read the definition of defense right here.
Protection from harm.
So, do you believe that George Zimmerman was self-defending himself from a boy that was under the influence of drugs
Yes.
and that was being obviously aggressive?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Does the prosecution have anything for the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Sergeant Raimondo, what do you do for a living?
I'm a police sergeant.
How long have you been in the police force?
14 years.
Okay. Were you on duty that night?
Yes.
Okay. What time did you arrive at the scene?
Sometime in that.
You don't know the exact time?
No.
Okay. What did you see as soon as you got to the scene?
Zimmerman had blood all over his face and he was getting arrested and Trayvon was on the ground.
Okay. Do you know the curfew of Sanford, Florida?
No.
Okay. Well, it is 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Trayvon Martin was reported suspicious around 7:11 at night. How is he suspicious if this is 4 hours before curfew? Okay. Your Honor, may I admit some evidence?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is Trayvon Martin laying on the ground at night. It's very dark, as you can see. Your Honor, may I admit some more evidence?
Yes, please.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Sergeant Raimondo, can you please read this yellow line? It's okay, we've asked for permission.
I don't want to say that word.
It's okay, we've asked for permission.
Okay, these assholes, he muttered in aside, they always get away.
Okay, Sergeant Raimondo, since you have read this line, do you think George Zimmerman was very angry and was ready to start a confrontation?
No.
This was before he killed Trayvon,
Trayvon was beating him.
but he was on the phone. So you don't think he was trying to start a confrontation according to this line?
No.
Well, he says these assholes, they always get away. He's trying to say that they're getting away from him all the time. Okay. Sergeant Raimondo, do you recall how Zimmerman was acting when you arrived?
He was getting arrested.
Okay. When you got there, was Zimmerman trying to help Trayvon in any way?
No, he was getting arrested when I got there.
So he wasn't like helping him or anything?
No, he had handcuffs on.
Okay. Mary Pitcher stated that when her and her roommate saw him minutes after he shot Trayvon, that Zimmerman was not trying to help him in Trayvon in any way. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are you aware that there were robberies prior to the shooting?
Yes.
Before? Okay. Are you aware that the robberies are colored?
Or what?
Are colored black people?
Yeah.
Okay. Sergeant Raimondo, do you know if neighborhood watchers have rules to follow?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may I submit some more evidence?
Yes.
Chris Tuco, a former police chief, now directs Neighborhood Watch for the Sheriff's Association, said, "There is no reason in the world to carry a gun for Neighborhood Watch." He also said it gets people more into trouble than out of it. Is that correct?
He had a license.
But you're not supposed to carry a gun if you're a Neighborhood Watch.
Okay.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything further from the defense? Do you rest?
We rest him.
Are both sides ready with final arguments?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecution. You may speak, Sergeant.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Trayvon Martin did not deserve to die February 26th. If George Zimmerman didn't try to take matters into his own hands, this tragedy would have never occurred. Don't let a guilty man go because he's the reason this happened. He tried to be the hero but instead became the murderer. There would have been no need for self-defense if he didn't put himself in that situation to begin with. As you can tell from what he said just minutes before his death, they always get away. He knew he wasn't supposed to confront him, so why did he? He knew that it possibly could have been dangerous, so why take the risk? The cops were on their way. Trayvon Martin was unarmed and was not doing anything wrong, and what does he get for that? Death. Please don't let Trayvon and his family not get justice.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we explain to you why we think that George Zimmerman is innocent by killing Trayvon Martin. Now, Trayvon Martin was on drugs, or he was doing drugs apparently, and so drugs, they mess with your mind, and he attacked George Zimmerman. And George Zimmerman was using self-defense, and there's a law that states that there's a self-defense law. It's basically saying that if someone attacks you, you have the right to self-defend yourself and do what you think is right. So, what would you do if you were getting attacked and beaten into the ground? That's all.
Any final words from the prosecution?
Yes. George Zimmerman was a part of the Neighborhood Watch. And part of the Neighborhood Watch, you're not supposed to approach suspicious people and let cops do their job. Now close your eyes for a minute. And picture yourself as Trayvon's parents when they came home and found out that their unarmed son was just killed by a man who disregarded all common sense and ended a young man's life before it even began. Because this one shot took away everything he had and everything he was going to have, everything he was and everything he could have been. Imagine the questions running through their heads. Imagine them thinking they'll never get to say goodbye to him. Thank you.
Jurors, you may now open your eyes and remember that it is your responsibility to base your decision solely on the facts that you have heard here today. You may now enter into deliberation. We will take 5 minutes. Has the jury reached a verdict?